love that. Amazing. Lot of people saying around content, right? You are here for a real treat. Your minds will be blown when you will see what you are going to see. Someone is like, speak loud. I'm speaking with all my power. Am I not speaking loud? Am I not speaking loud enough? Job search, cold calling. Someone is like homework. Amazing, amazing. Cold calling, trading. Amazing. I think you guys are thinking in the right direction. Everything that you are able to think of, that this is something that you want to automate. Yeah, your content marketing needs, customer facing thing, and other things, you will be able to do a lot of things, right? There are few use cases that we are going to cover today, but what you will learn is you will learn a process that you will be able to replicate and automate a lot of things, right? So how many of you are excited to learn that? How many of you are excited to learn that, right? And not just that, we are going to cover a lot of things, right? A lot of use cases and a lot of ideas as well. And after that, I'm going to take a session on make money with AI, right? You are learning skills and you would want to know how you can make money with that as well. So I'm going to cover that as well, right? So you have to stay attentive, even if you are not you are feeling lethargic, sleepy, make sure you pay attention. Now there are certain things that I want to tell you, which is the next session is going to be extremely advanced session, right? AI automation, I call that AI magic, right? You are going to learn AI magic, and it is going to be advanced stuff, which means that it is very much possible that 90% of the people might not be able to understand 100% of it, right? Since you are learning something like this for the first time, it is possible that you might not understand everything. So then also you should continue to listen, because it is completely fine. You should not be too hard on yourself. You should be patient. You should be okay even if you are not able to understand everything. What you need to do is you need to listen everything, so that you at least know the possibilities of it. You at least know how things are happening. Is that clear, everyone? Is that clear? Drop clear in the chat if you are going to be patient, if you are going to be not too hard on yourself, even if you don't understand everything. If you feel like lost, if you feel like, oh my God, I'm not able to understand, just hear out everything, right? Hear out everything for the next 2.5 hours. And when 2.5 hours finish, you will realize like what you have learned is such a superpower. Like you will just feel very, very powerful after this, right? So that's the agenda for next session, AI automation, right? And you are here for a real treat. Without wasting any more time, without spending any more time, I will just introduce the mentor and the teacher for the next session. So the person who is going to teach you in the next session is someone who has been doing this for years. He has worked with all the global brands, in India, globally, worked with so many clients, so many businesses, and runs a company which solves AI automation for a lot of brands, right? So he does this on a daily basis. He's a real expert, and you are going to learn from him. He's none other than, his name is Manish, and Manish himself is going to teach you. He has taken out his valuable time to teach you. So welcome Manish in the chat. And with that being said, I would like to hand over the stage to Manish. Manish, welcome here, and thank you so much for doing this.
Hey Uttam, nice to see you. Hey
Likewise.
guys, yeah, so many welcome messages. Amazing. So people, almost 3,800 people, like 4,000 people, one of the, I think, biggest batch here. And you guys are spending so much valuable time on this Saturday evening to learn something magical, as Uttam said, and to learn something really powerful, which will surely save. Like if you put these 3 hours effectively with concentration, believe me, you can save easily 300 hours a year, every year. And maybe these many people, at least 1,000 of you do, it will be a big impact. Almost 300,000 hours can be saved in your life. So yeah, hey guys, my name is Manish, and I'm going to take this whole session on automation, how you can do your repetitive task, all your whatever you learned in last previous sessions from different mentors about AI, about smart tools, how those things can be put on automated mode. So you don't have to no longer work on them, you don't have to touch them, but AI, the automation platforms can work for you. And I would have a complaint from Uttam here. You guys keep my session after the lunch, and you say people, okay, this is going to be technical, intensive, and then believe me, like I have two challenges. One, to explain this entire automation thing in a very easy way so you can understand any non-tech person, and second, to keep you awake, to keep you concentrated here. Okay, just on the lighter note. Now, guys, as Uttam said, it's true. So it's going to be a little technical session. We are going to use some technical terminologies like API, connection, integrations, some sort of basic fundamentals of the software built up as well, how things are interconnected and how they work. Uh, so my request to you is, and I feel that out of these 4,000 people, maybe half of you would be technical, half of you would be non-tech completely. You would not have heard about the integration or API or those things. So I'll keep the whole pace moderate, so like no one will feel overwhelmed. And if any technical guys are there who already have some hands-on experience, something like that, feel free to take a power nap, just roam around, take a walk, take a sip water, whatever you want. That's fine. So that's a request. We are going to keep it moderate. Some people may find it slow, some people may find it like okay or a little fast as well. The whole agenda is of this session is to give you exposure about the automation, how it looked like, what is automation all about, and then it is just an entry, it's just an introduction, right? So try to understand, try to listen it carefully. That's very, very important, because once you, let's say, see, this is how it works. Once you learn to drive a car, then you can take it anywhere, right? You don't have to do the same use case, you don't have to follow the exact step what I do, right? So just try to learn it, try to get exposure, get introduction, try to understand what I'm doing, how fundamentals are structured, and then you will be able to start or embark your automation journey. Now, this session will be divided into two parts. One is a theory, fundamental, for initial 40 minutes, and then we are going to do a practical use case, right? So, before we do that, how many of you people think theory is important? Or how many of you people feel theory is boring? Just put, you want theory, yes, or boring? Let's see. Okay, there are some people who says boring. Absolutely welcome to those. But most of you guys, yes, theory is very, very important. But since it's a kind of like technical session, it's going to be practical at the end of or at the second part. I don't want to bore you from the minute one itself. So what I did is I prepared an automation which we are going to cover as a practical example as well. We'll build that automation together. But before getting into theoretical part, I would like to give you a quick demonstration of the entire automation what I built. And that is surrounded on a very common problem which we all face in business or maybe in our day-to-day life when we try to create social media content and even to publish that, right? There are multiple platforms available in market. Let's say Facebook is there, Instagram, LinkedIn, even YouTube, and so other platforms where we wanted to establish our presence, our brand presence, our content, but it takes a lot of time. And because of that, it is generally not possible for us as a businessman, as a working professional, so put so much time and then create content, distribute it. That's not the only job we have, right? So what I did is I built a very small, very basic automation that is going to generate content for you, and it'll even do the postings for you, right? Very, very basic fundamental thing. Once you learn this, you can even advance it to absolute next level, right? So let me share my screen and let's walk it through. So what I hope my screen is visible to you guys. Let me. Okay, perfect. It is done. So what I did is actually I wanted to create social media post surrounding a particular idea, or it is concentrated towards one particular idea, right? Now, my whole ask is if I can give that idea to AI, and by some means, AI can generate the post content as well as a good looking image around it, because image posts are like more engaging, more like click shares and all, right? So I wanted to create social media post on three platforms: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, where the system should generate content. System should also generate a good looking image. And then once I say, okay, I reviewed this content, approved, then this content should go ahead and published on all of these social media platforms. So how many of you people wanted to see this quick magic, this small automation? Quickly. Okay, great. And I would honestly love your engagement on the chat box. That passes me your energy as well as I get to know, okay, we are in sync, right? Whatever I'm trying to explain you, I'm trying to teach you, show you, we are in sync. So always keep populating this inbox or this chat box. That will be very, very helpful. Okay, so what I did is I created a Google Sheet over here, which has a couple of columns. You can see here, first column is called idea content, where I can put my idea. And I have put in one idea called I'm launching a greeting flower brand in Mumbai. Help me create a compelling post. Brand name is Florist. The image should have Mumbai theme with flowers and good vibes and so on, right? Here I have a drop down in the sheet which called generate content. So a couple of things are here. Generate content. Once the content is ready, is going to change the status to content is ready for review. Then we'll have then I can say it again, post this content, and then finally the system will say, okay, posting is done, right? So that's how it's a two-way interaction. I can say something, I can put a command to system, and system can go back to me and say, okay, this job is done, not done, and so on. So let's go with generate content first. And now what will happen? This automation is going to create textual content for Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. It will also create an image, will park everything over here for my approval. And when I say, okay, post this, the whole content will go ahead and post it on all of these three platforms, right? So we are going to do this live. And here is the backend scenario that I have created on make.com. So you can see here all of these familiar apps. You see, we have Google Sheets, which is our idea source. We have ChatGPT to generate content, to generate image, to put everything back into Google Sheets. Then here we have all the social media where we are going to publish the content. And finally, we'll say, okay, publish update is done. Now, if I run this automation from here, I'll say run once. Let's see what happens. See here. So my idea got posted over here in this automation workflow. The content is generated. Now it is generating image and it is going to put everything back into the Google Sheet for my review. So let's see what kind of job it does. Someone says the screen is not visible. Sankalp, maybe you can just retry. How many of you people can see my screen? Or maybe just put some yes. I'll be able to. Okay, can see. Sankalp, maybe you can try some sort of like switch here and there. Okay, see this. So when I said for review, and here is the content for all of these things. So first content is for Facebook. Obviously, couple of flowers, couple of good lines over here with hashtags as well. In case of LinkedIn, the whole content is over here. Obviously, it can be more better, maybe more engaging, more structured kind of. And the Instagram content also came out like this with proper hashtags for my particular brand or this particular launch. And let's see what kind of job GPT would have done with the image. I'm excited. Let's see. Okay. Amazing. Exciting news, Mumbai. Florist is the brand, and I'm thrilled to announce that we are launching something like this. So this is see, we just put a random idea. If you could do this prompt better, I hope you all know how to do prompting part or how to describe your requirement to GPT or to AIs. In that case, it can do wonderful job for you, right? So this is just a kind of basic thing. All okay. Now, if I say, okay, I reviewed everything, it looks good. I simply say, okay, now go ahead and please post this content. And simply, when the automation is going to run next time, what this will do, it'll move to the second route over here, posted on my LinkedIn. See here is the post ID over here. Now posting on Facebook and as well as on Instagram. If I go to my LinkedIn, let's see what happens. I'm here, clicking on post and activities. Let's refresh and let's see the magic. So without touching LinkedIn, it created a post. See here, post is created now. The whole post come out like this, as well as a good looking image altogether. Let's go on Facebook. Let's check there as well. What happened here? Amazing. See here, just now, the post gone as well as hashtags and the entire post with the image came out like this. And let's go for finally on the Instagram. See here, Instagram as well, Florist, the whole post with all the content, everything is coming out. Now, this was just a demonstration of the capability of this platform or these kind of automation things where we don't even have to touch any of these platforms. We just say, okay, from a Google Sheet, from a centralized point, we simply say, okay, do this. And AI with the power of automation can even handle all of your platform, can get things done for you, right? So this is what we are going to learn today. As I said, the first part we are going to cover theory, where I'm going to explain how all of these things are interconnected, how they're working all together. And second part, we are going to rebuild this entire automation. So if you have your, let's say, PC or laptop or two screens, it'll be good. You can do it with me, or you can just maybe take some screenshots, try to grab the whole idea, take some notes, uh, prepare yourself for your automation journey, right? So that's the whole message from my side. Now, with that being said, let's quickly jump into the automation masterclass. Now, guys, obviously, a basic disclaimer over here. You should put your phones aside, silent, put 100% attention, because I told you I have two challenges to make you concentrate as well as to explain all these technical topics. So I would need your undivided attention for next 2.5 hour or 3 hours time. Right? In case, as Uttam also said, if you can't grab something, it's absolutely fine. See, it is not a kind of 10 hours class or kind of a large course, right? We are just getting some exposure. So treat it like that only. Don't like, if you can't get something, absolutely fine. Uh, just try to absorb as much as you can, right? Now, what we're going to cover, couple of fundamental questions. First of all, what is automation, why we do automation, how we do coding based automations versus what is the type of no code low code automation, because whatever you saw so far on the screen as well, that automation workflow doesn't have any coding. It's just a plug and play, couple of drag drops, value match, and that's it. The automation can be built in less than half an hour, that kind of timeline, right? Then we are going to learn a couple of popular automation tool. We'll also explore what is make.com. We'll see the features, and finally we are going to build a complete automation workflow on make itself, right? Now, who am I already got an introduction, but here you can see quickly. So I served more than 2000 businesses. I have a company, about 25 engineers are working around me, and into this profession for almost 6 years now. So it's a quick introduction. Now, first of all, why we need automation? That's very important to understand. Because if you don't realize that, then automation is of no use for you, right? So you should be able to understand first why at all we are doing automation, or what is the need, right? So if you observe yourself closely, every day we perform so many different tasks. Let's say if you're a businessman or you're a working professional working into a particular department, you have certain responsibilities. You have to perform certain processes, a sequence of tasks, and then get outcome done or get the results out, right? Let's say if you're working into marketing domain, for example, in case there you should do some sort of ideation to launch your product, to launch your campaigns. You create content for them, you publish that content, you generate leads or sales conversions, and finally you do reporting analysis, and the entire sequence goes back to the ideation and furthermore based on your reporting analysis. If you're into finance, we keep on creating daily invoices or accounting or payment update, stock updates, and so on. If you're into sales, people generally play around with CRM, lead nurturing, lead communication, follow-ups, and so many other things. And same way with every department, we do things now here and there all the time, right? Now, most of these things becomes repetitive. So when you start something, it looks really good. You are energetic, you are like enthusiastic about, okay, we are getting into a new thing, be it a entrepreneurship, a startup, or you get into a new role. With good energy, with good motivation, everything looks good. But after a certain point of time, when you wanted to scale yourself, you wanted to go to the next level, you have to perform more, you have to give more outcome, right? And you still have the same amount of time, energy, and the efforts or resources available. So what happens if we take more on our plate? The list become like never ending, and ultimately we lose out the whole vision why we are doing something, and we just get into a loop all the around, right? So what are the reasons? Most of the time, the activities become quite repetitive, and all of we like humans should realize it's very important. If you're doing something, most of people even don't realize they are doing the same thing again and again and again without adding any real value, without applying even the brain, and it still consumes the same amount of time and effort. So we are not at most time using our intellect. We simply use our hands, our legs, our effort power, but we just forget we have to apply brain all the time. Then we can go to the next level, then we can enhance our life. Otherwise, it's all the same thing happening again and again, which can be done by any other newcomers or any other machine as well. Imagine an example over here. If there is a cashier in bank, like about 10 years ago, 20 years ago, they were counting notes by hand, right? The currency note. That's a valuable task to do, but it is not a value adding task for the cashier's life, even for the bank's life, because if the person can count note by machine or counting by hand, it doesn't make difference, right? It's just a manual physical activity which has to do, and then results can come out of that. So cashiers are replaced by the note counting machine. Their task was replaced completely. And that non-value adding task is now like was taking a lot of time, a lot of hours and hours of time, is now can be done within minutes, right? So a real example where people should get rid of repetitive task or task which just consume their effort, their time, but does not add anything back to their intellectual efforts, right? So very, very important, we should try to get rid of those kind of things. Now, how can that be done? The example which I gave you obviously has a machine which is called the cash counting machine, or you may have calculators, you may have some sort of robots, and they can replace the human effort. But most of the time, you realize the human efforts which they replace are mostly mechanical, right? And like with something which you're doing by hand. But what if something you're doing by your intellect, by your memory, by your, let's say, brain? It's really difficult to replicate that, right? So that thing can be done using automation, right? So not kind of mechanical thing, but obviously a lot more than that, where we can apply couple of software level integrations, AI tools, agentic things, and they all can be put together on the automated mode, where they take even your brain load, right? So they can do your intellectual task as well on the automation mode. Now, what automation can do for you? Obviously, a couple of things which we were expecting. It can obviously increase the productivity, efficiency. It can save a lot of time and effort. It can help you to scale to the next level with the same amount of time and resources. Very, very important, because anyone who's starting a new business, who's a, let's say, entrepreneur, some sort of a business leader, you people wanted to have achieving next level, but you don't have immediate resources available to deploy or to scale yourself, right? In that case, AI and automation can be a really game changer, which can help you to scale to absolute next level without having much investment in hand. At the same time, obviously, it can help you to make your business available 24 by 7, and it makes the whole process robust. So less human intervention means less errors, right? Because machines works on rule, logic, and conditions, and that's where like no negligence, low kind of like avoidance, right? Now, what is we learned, like what is automation? But still you may have some thought in mind. Manish talked about the cash counting machine, he talked about calculator, and he's also talking about software. So what kind of softwares, what kind of automations are available in market, and what we are going to talk today? So what I did is like I just divided into three parts. One is called the robotic process automation. And guys, just try to understand. I'm giving you this whole knowledge just to make you or your foundation very much strong. Otherwise, if someone tomorrow may come and say, okay, what kind of automation you're doing? Is this something mechanical? We heard about something called RPA. We heard about something called data entry automation. What you learned actually. So here, it's very, very important to understand how the world is working in terms of automation and what kind of automation we are going to learn today in this session. So first type of automation, which exists for years and years now, it's called RPA, robotic process automation. And you would have seen this in mostly kind of assembly lines or manufacturing plants or packaging plants, where there are mechanical arms or different type of tools. They come together, machines come together and fulfill a particular task, right? Second level is something called the computer-based physical task automation. There are a couple of really like extensive processes there in market. You would have heard something called BPO, business process outsourcing, right? Those kind of centers where people do manual data entry, they do data scraping, they do form filing, and hundreds or even thousands of people sitting on a floor doing the same interaction, same activity again and again on a computer, right? So these days there are tools available like UiPath, or even many computer-based controllers which can control your mouse, your keyboard, your screen, and they can replicate or mimic the exact actions which you are taking on a screen, and they can free up your time, your manpower from operating that system, right? So that's the second type of automation. The third type is called the software level automation. Now, what is that? These days we work everything on software, like all your department, all your work, everything, even email, invoicing, CRM, everything is happening on softwares. So what if we can automate those software based interaction, two softwares talking to each other? If that can be automated, that can become a widest use case of the automation, because first two obviously they apply on a certain condition, a certain factory, a certain data entry center. But in case of software, we all are interacting with them day in day out, right? So that's where the software-based task automation can be a game changer, and that's what our today's agenda as well, right? So we are going to talk about this thing. Now, before we move forward, from the system implementation perspective, from the let's say this automation era perspective, I divided world into three parts, or I would say there were three type of times happened actually, right? So first of all, there was a third world about 20 years ago from now, and where we were doing everything manually. So if you have to write a letter, it was not email, it's just a mail which goes out in a pen paper format. If you have to raise an invoice, it was actually took out your khata book, put that invoice together, and then give it to someone. So everything was happening with pen and paper with the human intervention. After 20 years, today we are standing with the same kind of processes, with the same business operations, but the pen paper got replaced by the devices, by a computer, by mobile phone, by tablets, and so many other. And now, from today's point, we are moving to a first world, which is going to be a complete different world altogether. But before we go there, just to check your attention, can you guys tell me at least one similarity between these two images? Someone who heard so far with attention will be able to tell me. Okay, people says it's human, screen, manual work. Yes, 99% of you people say it's human who's involved into both the worlds. 20 years ago, there was a human who has to sit and write that letter or do that invoicing or do whatever things has to be done by manual effort. Today also, the method got changed, but still we should be there to operate the systems, be it software, be it devices, any kind of device, a smartwatch, a smartphone, still you have to operate that, right? Now, we are heading to a complete different world where we are going to the first world. It's called the automated world or the AI world, where you don't have to interact with system. The AI and automation tools are going to interact with each other. They are going to control things without you being involved as a human at all. And it all depends upon us, like what kind of process you want to automate. We are not saying like humans will be eliminated. I'm saying the repetitive task, the waste of time and effort should be eliminated. We should apply ourselves wherever it requires brain, wherever it requires thoughts, wherever it requires decision making. Humans should be involved there. Otherwise, all these data entry, the invoicing, emails, marketing emails, follow-ups, all of these things can be very well done by the AI and by the power of automation, which can work all across the tools, right? So our today's agenda, again, in terms of this class, is we are going to learn how to make all these softwares work together without us being involved over there. And you already saw a demonstration where I shown you this whole LinkedIn social media postings, right? Now, any of you people who doesn't have a technical background, or maybe who are non-techies, you must be wondering how a software can control the software, or whatever I shown you on that workflow, how that workflow was controlling my Google Sheet, my Chat GPT, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, everything, right? So it's a big question. If we can nail that, if we can get answer of that, then absolutely we can do any kind of automation. That means we are trying to learn like how to drive that car, and if you learn that, you can drive it anywhere, right? So same way, if you learn how these things are working, the fundamentals are clear, then you can automate almost every process. Now, to answer that, there are two ways. Any of people who don't know about APIs or who don't know about like how softwares are interconnected, just put some focus over here. So there are two ways how systems can be controlled or how softwares can be controlled. One is a very basic thing called UI, the user interface, where we humans interact with the system, like how I'm interacting with this whole system, right? I have mouse, I have a keyboard, I have a screen over here. I can look at that and do anything what I want. At the same time, there are there is another backdoor in the software through which any other system can interact with it. So when people started building softwares, they realized like obviously we are building for humans, humans should interact with it. But what if someone wanted to do automation, or what if we have to do some task or certain things where people are not required, even though about 20 years ago or whenever software started building, if any other application has to interact with this application, how they will be interacting with each other, how they will control each other. So there is another mechanism, a backdoor, a hidden door, I would say, that is called API, which is built for applications, for the software, for the other apps, which are going to interact with your uh, softwares, right? So it's called application programming interface. Now, let's try to understand this quickly with a basic example. So, imagine you are here on this screen. By the way, how many of you people recognize this screen is? How many of you know what this screen is? Perfect. Many of Gmail users. Excellent. So this is a Gmail interface, a Gmail UI, where we operate our day-to-day emails. If we have to send an email, simply click on compose button. A window will open, put to address, subject line, some content, attach, and then this can be gone. There are a couple of more spam them, classify them, star mark, and so on. And if you want to reply something, you can simply click on a couple of buttons, and those things can also be done, right? So this is a really good example of UI, how we humans interact with the systems and how we operate this whole screen, whole Gmail. But when we talk about API, API is just sitting behind the Gmail screen which you saw here. So when you, let's say, imagine by an example of a restaurant, if you have to eat something, you should go to that restaurant, sit on a table, then waiter will come, he'll say, okay, what do you want to eat? Here is a menu card, and you can order anything you want. Then you order something, waiter goes to kitchen to the chef, and it gives to chef. Chef prepare the dish, give back to the waiter, and waiter is going to give it back to you on your table. The same thing happens in case of software interactions as well. So when you sit on a Gmail UI like this, for example, this one, right? When you click on compose, send any email, just behind this screen there are so many APIs working to make your, let's say, to make your request successful with the Gmail servers, with the Gmail infrastructure, right, with the Google. So this screen doesn't do much, but the API who's going to interact, who's taking your request to Google servers, do the most important job in middle. They are the waiter, they are the person who interact or who connect you and the Gmail servers over there, right? So that's what happened when you sit on a browser. Just behind your browsers, APIs are working. API take your request to backend server. Server fulfill that, and then it gets back to API, and then API will show you a message that your email was sent successfully. Or maybe when you enter something on a Google Sheet, it says, okay, data is saved, or let's say data start populating over there. So all of these things are essentially enabled by the APIs just behind your screen. Now, do you want to see a quick live demonstration of APIs, how they look just behind your Google Gmail screen? Okay, okay, okay. Many people are excited. Let me open my Gmail over here. Let's see. Okay, perfect. See here, many emails. It's a normal Gmail interface, which you all know very well. Now, there is a button on your keyboard that is called F12, function 12, right? Or if it doesn't work directly, just press function and F12, and you will see a window like this. Let me try to grab something here. Okay, see here. So when I press F12, this kind of a window pops up, or this kind of window opens. And here is something called network. If I just clean this entire network from here, and then I just want to open this email from Harsh Gupta. See here, it says Harsh Gupta, Brisk Learning Solutions have been nominated by this and so on. If I just click on this email to see the content, just see what happens here on this particular section. If I click on this, these many API calls are triggered in less than, or maybe in milliseconds, I would say, right? See here how many API calls are being sent just to grab this email content right from Google server. And it is so fast, you don't even realize. So just to publish this email or just to give this email content to you, Gmail would have triggered more than 50 API calls. You can just count them over here, how many calls are being sent and where they are being sent. See here, it says mail.google.com, a whole structure of this API call. Couple of things. It says request method is get. It got the status cost 200, which is green. That means we got the content out. And then couple of more things. Then there is a preview, there is a response, and so many things are happening just behind your like screen eyes, right? Let's say if I go back, I open the second mail. See how many API calls are being sent. And it is not limited to Gmail only. If you go on, let's say, Instagram for here, let's example, if I press F12 over here and I just simply open this post of TCS, let's click on this. See, these many API calls are straightforward sent to Instagram, just 4 or 5 calls over here. And that's how Instagram rendered this whole content back. When I say view insights, there are furthermore APIs will be sent to Instagram to grab all this content. See, again, many API calls over here. Now, what if we can capture these API calls and we can directly maybe hijack or some sort of hacking or something. If we can work directly with these API calls, then absolutely we can control this screen, we can control the system, what has to happen on this particular system, and obviously we can make things automated without touching the system itself. Now, so this is where APIs play the role, and it is so fast you can't even realize that. Now, these software companies also know that people wanted to automate things. The smart people, someone who wanted to save their time, would want to work with the APIs. So APIs should not be limited only to present things on the UI, on the user interface. But what if we can give this API access to people where they can directly work? If they have technical knowledge, they can directly work with those APIs. We don't have to give them a hard time to diagnose, or let's say to debug or reverse engineer all of these APIs. But software company says, okay, we are going to give you the API documentation itself. Go ahead and use it whatever way you want, right? So what these software companies did, they generally started like about 20 years back, when software started emerging, companies thought of like people asking for APIs, people asking for automation methods. So we should give them API documentation as well. We should give them some sort of guidance how to use our APIs and how you can automate your own systems. So they started publishing a section on their website that is called developer section or API section, or it may you may find it like called resource section. So if you go on any software website, generally you will find it API developer or resources. You just go there, or maybe search on Google as well. If you don't find the particular section on website, just go ahead and search on Google like software ABCD API documentation. Let's say if you go here, for example, yes, see, Google is also giving me the first result at Google for developer, Google or Gmail API overview, something like this. And then within this, they say everything about their APIs, how API work, how we can make it use, what all things can be done with the API. So we can do message, we can do thread, label part, draft, and so many other things. Plus, for a specific endpoint, a specific task, there are detailed walkthrough also available. So let's say if you wanted to create draft, or you want to send an email directly from Gmail using APIs, it says there are two ways to send email using APIs, different methods, and then whole structure of Python or Java code like this, right? So they have started giving you well-structured API documentation. Now, how the API look like, I just shown you, but it's really important to understand what we can do with the APIs. Very, very interesting thing. See, when you operate a system, maybe system like Gmail, what we do here, we do primarily two, three things. One is you can send an email to someone, you can download attachments, or you can reply email to, or you can also view some email content, the invoices or the emails which are being sent to you by any other person. These are essentially the task of the particular Gmail application, right? Same way, if you are on WhatsApp, send messages, get messages, download things, and so on. Same way, if you are going on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, you publish post, people like, comment, share there, and then they can see your post, right? So these are certain activities which happens on a specific platform in a specific nature. Now, the APIs can also perform all of these activities for you. So let's say if you wanted to create a new post, a record, or maybe some sort of email, API can help you to do that. Like just mimic your action, what you do on UI can be done with API. If you want to retrieve or view records from your system software, it can do that. It can update records, it can delete them, it can search them, it can also list them. And even if there is any action or any event happening within your software, if you want to get notified, then it can also send you notifications using webhook based technology, right? So this is all the actions which API can do for you, and these can be even more what you see as compared to on the UI part. So most of the time UI is built for a good interaction, good experience, but with the API, experience is not a matter. Its APIs are even more intense, are even more in-depth, rooted into a software. So through APIs you can do much more things as compared to just working on the UI part, right? Now there can be another question, where do you have to pay for API? And why this question even comes in? Because if you're using a software with a UI, you may find that like I'm using it with human hands, with human resources, whatever available, and there can be limited use of that. Because if you're sending, let's say, if I give you a task, send 500 emails to different people. If you're sitting on a system, you can send 1 minute per email and then 500 emails in next 8 hours. But what if I say, do this task with API, deploy a computer, deploy a machine, then that machine can send 500 emails in less than 5 minutes as well, right? Because machines computer are so fast. So in that case, the Gmail system can be exploited, right? Gmail will be overused, and in that case, Gmail services may go down. So Gmail obviously will be worried about, should I give my API access to someone who can misuse, who can overuse that, or should I keep it as human only, or should I charge for the API usage? So when people pay for something, they'll care about it, right? So that's where companies came with three different models, and obviously depends upon like what kind of software, what kind of service provider you're working with. But they came up with three models. One is called free, second is premium, and third is fully paid. So in case of free, you don't have to pay anything extra, no need to pay any money, and APIs can be available for free of cost, or they can be included within your regular software subscription. Second is you go for premium, where they give something for free and then they charge for the next level of limits. And third is fully paid, where you have to pay from day one itself for first use itself. There is nothing for free as such. So if I go for examples, let's say here you see free examples. Facebook give API free for business account. Instagram same way for business account for pages. Zoho CRM is a good example, which include API pricing within their subscription. They don't charge you anything extra on the for the API part. In case of premium, you can go with Gmail, a good example, where Gmail personal APIs are free, or personal Gmail inbox, but it is really difficult to access those APIs. So Gmail discouraged them. They wanted to charge some premium for that. So that's where they included like free APIs or premium APIs within their G Suite kind of plan, where you have to pay for Gmail premium plans, right? Messages using WhatsApp official API, you have to pay from the first message itself. If you're going with, let's say, SMS service, you have to pay for the first SMS service itself. When you send the first message, you have to pay for it. So that is something what this is somehow the APIs or the different software providers plan or strategize their services, their API offering. Now, we saw this Gmail API over here. And I told you, you can send email using this. There are two methods. You maybe would have read that. And then just below this, there is something called creating message. If you want to send a message using Gmail API, there are two ways to do it. You should know either the JavaScript or the Python scripting, right? And with these two things, you can, obviously, if you understand this entire thing, you can surely send messages right from API itself. Here's the API endpoint for this particular create email, and then this is how it works. But most of you people will find it as a kind of alien language, right? You can read, obviously it's English. It says import Java until this, but we can't make sense of it because it's a pure coding language and it's a pure coding structure, right? So most of the time we can't even make sense of it, what's being written here. And that becomes a really big roadblock where it says I cannot work with these APIs. If I have to learn all of these coding languages, obviously I can't do that. It require good expert knowledge. It require experience working with these things. And even though some of you smart people will say, I can do this coding using ChatGPT, Anthropic Claude, or something else, but still you will need some sort of a server space to run this code, right? So it is not that easy, that straightforward, and that becomes a big roadblock. People can't use, like non-techie people can't use these APIs at all. They can't automate things at all, right? So what's the solution? You would have heard a term called necessity is the mother of invention, right? That happened, or some smart entrepreneurs, some proactive entrepreneurs started realizing, like every other business, every other proactive professional would want to automate their things, want to get rid of the repetitive tasks, but they can't learn coding language, right? They can't do anything with these APIs. So why not to build some sort of a platform, some sort of a solution which can help them to automate things without knowing anything about the coding, without doing any hard effort on the server hostings and all. They should be able to do their things, automations themselves, right? That's where the emerge of these platforms happened. And you can see a couple of names over here. It's called a top platform which came at the first in market, which is called Zapier. You would have all maybe heard this name. It is in existence for almost 15 years now, and they are one of the top platforms in no code, low code automation space, having almost 3 million people or businesses using them across the globe. Then second part comes with make.com, another good company, emerging company, which has about a million subscriber, million active users on the platform, businesses, different working professionals, people who want to automate things. Then there is a Microsoft tool called Microsoft Power Automate, one of the good emerging tool. Then there's something called N10. Then we have Kissflow, Automate.io, Pabbly, and so many different tools. So all of these tools prepared by people, by entrepreneurs, by the solution makers, and they wanted to make your life easy to automate your things without any coding language or without knowing anything about the coding complex stuff and APIs. So if you go today on Google and if you search for no code, low code tools, you may find hundreds and hundreds of tools. Maybe I can assure you at least 200 tools exist over there, out there, right? You may have a question, Manish, which tool is right for me, or how to choose which is the right one? Because Microsoft is a good name. Zapier, you're saying it's a leading player. Make is another good one. And it is there. How should I choose the right tool for my business, for my need? Now, the answer is there are four parameters which I generally follow or I recommend to people to follow when they choose or when they try to finalize any particular automation platform. Number one is reliability. You can also coin it the term called trust, right? It's very important because when you start your automation, let's say scenario workflow, it's a kind of fun when you start something, right? And you just do it for, okay, let's do, we'll see whether it works or not works, all fine. But after a certain point of time, when you start getting success, you will realize that, okay, you have a need of automation in your critical processes, in your important process in your business, right? And if at that time you choose a wrong tool from a start, if the tool fails, if it is not available, your entire business can come to toes, right? Your business can completely be on hold, on stop. So you should always choose a platform, even before pricing, even before cost. You should always consider for the trust. Very, very important. Second is the pricing part. Obviously, pricing matters because you should think about two pricing. One is how much it costs to build any automation workflow on these platforms, whether talent is available, whether money to build the workflows, automations or not, how much they cost, how much they charge. The second part is what is the regular maintenance cost of this platform? If I run certain automations, how much it is cost for me, right? That's going to be really important. And you should also compare that cost with the human efforts. If you deploy a human, how much that cost versus how much this automation is going to cost. The third thing is how easy that platform is to learn and use. Because see, you 4,000 people on this call are the initiative taker, are the first mover, right? You wanted to learn something new. But you're not going to do automation for do AI things forever. You have to focus on your main things, your own business, your own profession. You want to excel there, right? You are not going to become an automation engineer. So what if a platform is there which you chose for whatever reason, but it is really difficult for others to understand, others to learn, because not everyone is like you who's taking initiative, who's willing to learn new things. And ultimately when you try to delegate something, you may not find people, or people find it really difficult. Then it will become your, I would say, your limitation. You will become an automation engineer within your own company versus someone who should do this, right? So always think of platform which is easy to learn, easy to use, and then you can delegate easily to other people. And finally, scalability is very, very important. The platform should be able to accommodate your future needs as well, or your technology stake. For example, you have a CRM from any unknown company, a local company, and they provide you API documentation, but somehow the software, the platform which you're using for automation purpose may not have any native integration for that particular system. Now, can you do some sort of custom integration to implement your software or to automate your CRM software within the capability of the automation platform? If yes, then it's good. If no, then unfortunately, you'll not be able to automate your CRM process, right? So maybe half process automated, half cannot be done. And this should not be the ideal, it is not the ideal case, right? You can't do this like half manual, half automated. So in that case, always think of if your software support, or let's say if your automation platform supports custom API call, custom integrations, and which is future scalable as well. So these are a couple of very, very important, very critical, I would say, decision factors or parameters which you should always think before you choose the right platform. Now, what I suggest, what I recommend is something called make.com, one of the, I would say, most economical platform, easy to learn, easy to implement. Even when you build automation, you can visualize that, okay, how your workflow is working, how it is being built. And see, whatever you can, let's say, experience is the best learning. Like experience based learning is the best learning, right? So when you try to build something, if you can visualize, if you can connect things really easy, then in that case you can surely like get a good command on the whole system. So that's where for today's session I chose make.com. Couple of reasons. It's almost 20 times less expensive than Zapier, the first opponent. Got a good visual builder, custom API calls are there, formula functions, advanced things, as well as it is reliable and it follows most of the compliances as well. But as I said, you're completely free. Just do your own research and try to assess the right platform as per your needs. Right now, before we jump into the practical part, it's really important to understand and to set expectation, like what can be automated, what cannot be. If you go with something which cannot be automated, which fall into this right side list, then obviously you'll be wasting so much time, effort, and even there is a loss of your confidence and motivation as well. Why? Because let's say if you try to automate some process which is ad hoc, which require human intervention, there is no APIs available. In that case, obviously you'll not be able to automate things, and you may find out like, "Okay, automation is not for me," right? Or you may end up wasting so much time. Versus what can be automated, where software based APIs are available, very very important. Second is process is repetitive enough so you can automate and you can gain benefit from there. And the last is when you do automation, always think, if you can define a process, steps, rules, conditions, logics, then think of automation. So just to remind you, or let's say reintroduce you, before we go for automation, we should have a process in hand. Because see, without process you can't do a thing, like a proper thing with the manual effort itself. Then forget about automation, right? Automation is done by machines, and machines or these computers will need logic, will need steps, will need process. So if you don't have a process, don't think of automation. Before you think of automation, have a process map in hand. So do you want to see a quick process map, how I design it for my clients or when I work with someone? Okay, just two, three yeses. Very less people interested. Okay, I hope you all would have heard about this platform called. Take any projects or when our company work on something, we ask our clients to prepare this kind of a flow chart, or we prepare for them from the process perspective. So we know that, okay, how each of these things are connected, from where this process will start, what all steps to be followed, and what is the ultimate outcome is expected by the automation, by the AI involvement. So see here, this is a good example of one of the marketing agency who wanted to do lead nurturing and lead conversions using the automated flow. So what they say, the process should start, or the whole automation workflow should start whenever they get a lead in their system. Now lead can come into a CRM, lead can come through a lead magnet, or it can also be like when someone fills a form, then lead can come in, right? After that, they wanted to do a complete lead research. The lead research happened using a tool called Phantom Buster. So when information across the internet, it knows which companies you worked with, let's say what's your history, what kind of events you have in life, as well as it can scrap your LinkedIn, it can scrap your Facebook, any sort of social media as well. And the Phantom Buster can tell you what this person is doing in last couple of days, or what is his entire personalized profile. Now, based on that, they wanted to design a personalized email marketing campaign. Now, what happens here? Whatever information Phantom Buster collected about that particular lead, it goes into AI, and AI is going to create personalized email for that person. So it is no longer mass mail, it's no longer a template based mails. It's going to be a specific thing, a specific piece of content for each of your leads. Then it'll keep on engaging them unless until the reply is received from that lead. Then once reply is received, the conversation will be handed over to an AI conversational agent, right? Then agent is going to keep on talking them, that person. It'll ask certain qualifying questions, and then it is going to define if the lead is disqualified, or lead is qualified, or lead is qualified but not ready now to make a purchase to get converted. So obviously it's a future lead. Then it can simply put the whole thing back into this nurturing sequence one more time, and it can go for, let's say, 3 months nurturing, 6 month nurturing, and so on. If lead is disqualified, it can simply move out of the whole funnel, out of the CRM. And if lead is qualified, then it goes, it can share them a meeting setup link where lead can book a meeting link, it can make a payment, or lead can also purchase a product from the website from the link. So this is how the entire process is set up. Obviously, we have to put all the content, all the logics over here, but the whole skeleton, whole structures look like this, right? From the start to the end point, every step is defined like this, right? And this is super important. Before you touch automation, you should have this kind of clarity in your mind, in your hand, that you're going to use what kind of tools, how they'll be used, what is their place, and how they should interconnect and work together in the process, right? So process buildup is the first step. Second is automation. Now, here is a quick checklist about the automation. So obviously, first of all, you should build a quick list of all the apps which are going to be involved into your process. So here you see, I saw like Phantom Buster was there, the CRM was there, then we have email engine, we have other AI and so many other things, right? So list out all of these softwares, then check if all of those softwares have APIs available, yes or no. If not, look out for the alternative. And also check if the APIs are paid and they are within your budget. If not, then you can find out some alternate softwares before you jump into the automation thing. And finally, you should create a flowchart, how I shown you with the steps, with the logics, everything is defined. And then once you have this entire checklist ready, then go ahead and touch the automation platform. Now, this was the end of the whole theory. I hope I did not bore you. It was a valuable insights. You'd have learned like what to do before you even get. So, are you guys ready to jump into the automation, the practical session? Whatever I built, I shown you at the start. We are going to build that entire thing again, practical on this live call. Okay, nice guys. Then let's jump on make.com. Before we go there, I have something for you. So since we are a make.com partner, what make does is it give us a magic link. And the magic link you can see on my screen, or maybe I can share a quick link over the chat as well. So if you do not have a make.com account, you can create it from here with this link, and it is going to give you 10,000 operations for free, right? So for you don't have to pay anything. And after that, it's going to give you 1,000 operations every month. Operation means number of tasks you can perform with Make. So you can start your automation journey. No need to bind with Make. You can always go with Zapier, N10, Microsoft Power Automate, anything of your choice. But to make this entire introduction easy, this entire presentation easy, I'm using Make because it got a really good visual automation builder. So that's the only logic. Otherwise, you feel free to do any of the automation platform. What do you want? So I'm going to put this whole link into the chat for everyone. You guys can pick it from there, create it now, later. It's all your choice. Okay, done. Now, with the same thing, let's get in Make. If I go here, make.com, perfect. We are going to get started. Let's say here, get started for free. And then you see this kind of interface over here. You can create account with Google, with Facebook, GitHub, and so on, or you can put your name, email ID, password, as well as you'll have to choose your hosting region. So which region you wanted to keep your data. Companies required to maintain the actual data in that particular territory itself. So anyone who's working in US, they should keep data into US based data centers. So that's why it says, what is your hosting region? Which compliance you want to follow? So it's GDPR or HIPAA. In case of anyone who's outside of Europe or US, you can follow any, you can choose any one of them. It doesn't make difference. It's just about the data hosting. So if you're in India, just select any one of them. It's not going to make any difference. Then we should essentially select the country, right? So currently it's by default selected India, but if you're into, let's say, Dubai, Singapore, wherever you are, choose that country carefully because this is going to define your time zone. Why it is important? Just try to listen carefully. When we say we wanted to make a social media post every day 10 a.m., right? The system is going to follow 10 a.m. But who's 10 a.m.? The country which you select here, it will follow that particular time. So in case of India, it's going to follow IST. In case of Dubai, it's going to follow UAE time. In case of Singapore, it's going to follow Singapore Standard Time, right? So that's how country selection is very important. It defines the time zone in your account, right? So I hope I'm clear. And then simply click on sign up for free. It's going to get your account ready. That is one part. Now, once you're getting into make.com, let me quickly show you how the interface look like inside Make. So here, this is kind of interface, nothing fancy. It's pretty kind of developer type vibes, right? You can see here. So you got your organization name at the top. In case if you want to change your country or time zone later on, you can change it here. You will not be able to change reasons at all. Then here we have a dashboard. Now, Before we get into this dashboard or what numbers are written here, what is operation, let me give you a quick exercise. I remember we did this whole automation. First, we created content. Second, we published this whole content on different social media platforms. Listen carefully for next 1 minute. I have a task for you. So let's say if I'm your client, if I'm a person who comes to you and I say, I want you to create me a good social media post. And here are the steps. You'll have to count how many steps you have to follow or how many tasks you'll have to do to perform the whole activity. I say, I'm going to park my content idea into a Google Sheet. Your job, first, go to that Google Sheet and grab that content idea. Then go to any AI, create post for these three social media things. So give it a prompt, give it the post idea, create the post content. Then go to AI again, create image. And finally, put everything back into the same Google Sheet next to my idea so that I can review and I can say, okay, go ahead and publish it. So just until this content submission to me, how many steps you think you'll have to follow or how many tasks you'll have to do in the whole process? Okay, Palak says 6. Couple of people says 4, 7, 5, 3, 11. Amazing. Put all the numbers from 1 to 10. Okay. Uh, I'll tell you guys. Most of you are right as well. It's total 4 tasks that you have to do. What does it mean? First of all, you'll have to go into the Google Sheet to grab that content idea. Task number 1. Task number 2, you have to go to ChatGPT, Anthropic Claude, or somewhere with a prompt, put that idea and get me content for that particular post, right? Different kind of content design. That is task number 2. Then you'll have to go to another GPT or maybe some AI to generate image around that particular post or that particular idea, right? That is task number 3. And put both the things, the image as well as the content, back into the Google Sheet for my review. That is task number 4. So in total, you will have to perform 4 tasks to complete this whole process of content generation. Then I'll say, okay, go ahead and post it on different social media platforms. So obviously, you'll have to grab that content back from the Google Sheet. You'll go on LinkedIn, you'll go on Instagram, you will go on Facebook, populate post over there, create post over there, and then you will again update me that okay, all postings are done. So in this case, you'll have to perform at least 5 to 6 different tasks, right? That's what these platform also do for you. So be it make.com, be it N10, be it Zapier, Microsoft Power Automate, all of them simply mimic your steps. They say, okay, whatever you do, I'm going to do it for you, right? So in that case, or in that sense, make.com call these tasks as operations. So for each of these tasks, make says I'm going to give you operations or credits. One credit is equal to one task or one particular steps being followed. So here you see, I bought a plan of $18, which has about 20,000 operations they give to me. I can go with a smaller plan as well. And here they say I already consumed 6,800 tasks. Let me zoom in a little bit. Out of the total 20,000 task plan, it's almost 34% consumed, right? And here you can see all these plan things. Now, another important aspect to cover here. Let's say if you're sending a courier, a small parcel, maybe just a courier envelope from city A to city B, right? The courier guy comes and take that and he'll charge you 50 rupees to send it from city A to city B. It's just a document, single envelope. Imagine if you wanted to send, instead of the document, you want to send a small parcel which has a weight of maybe 1 kg, right? Then it's not going to go for 50 rupees. It may go for 100, 200, 300 rupees. Then if your parcel weight increases, let's say 10 kg, obviously the rate will go to maybe 1,000 rupees. If you increase that parcel weight to 1,000 kg, then game will completely change. They may charge you 50,000 rupees as well. But still, you may have a logic. They just have to take things from city A to B. The distance is same, but the volume got changed, right? So these platform, while they perform tasks for you, they also check or they also track how much volume they have to carry, how much data they have to carry from platform A to platform B or from app A to app B, right? In most of the cases, it doesn't matter because mostly content is in either image form or it's in a file format or it is a textual format. So see here, while consuming 34% of task, Make is also tracking my data transfer. And which says here, I consumed only 26 MB of data transfer, right? The data transferred across the applications. And even if I go here, see, check out this. When it takes data from my Google Sheet, the data size is hardly 3.1 KB because it has a file link, it has a couple of these content, and that's it. So this whole content, even though it consumes 6, 7 operations over here, the whole content size is hardly 3.1 KB. That's it. But imagine if I have another task where I wanted to say make, okay, I have a video in my Google Drive, pick that video and post it on YouTube. Now, that video, it's just a two task. Pick video from Google Sheet, post it on YouTube. But the video size can be of 100 MB, it can be 500 MB, it can be 1 GB as well, right? So Make is not going to say, okay, I'm just performing two tasks for you. He'll also say, I'm going to transfer 1 GB of data for you just on these two operations, just on these two tasks, right? So that's where the whole game changes. And that's where Make also track how much data you're going to transfer. And believe me, most of the time this will not be even 1%, 2%, because all the applications we work are generally working, as I said, in textual content or file or images. Videos are hardly anywhere involved, so no need to worry, but this is a fundamental of automations as well. Now, in case of Make, I gave you already a link, magic link, which is going to give you 10,000 operations for free to start. But after that, you can go here. You can choose a basic plan of $10 that give you 10,000 tasks to start with your automation journey. And you can always go with free plan, which is free forever, which can give you 1,000 operations or task every month. So you don't have to pay Make at all. And you can have up to 2 active automation scenarios. Now, the last good thing is you can onboard any number of users. There is no user-based pricing. They are just bothered about how many tasks you consume, how many credits you consume on the platform. You can onboard all of your organization people, all of your department people, all your business people on the platform, and they can also do automations within the same organization, within the same account. So Make doesn't charge you anything for the user-based onboarding, right? So yeah, this is how the basics are structured over here. Then obviously we should get into the most important segment why we are here for. So that is to build automation scenarios. So within Make, the workflow is called scenario. In case of Anaton, it's called workflow. In case of Zapier, it's called Zap, right? So this is how uh, they have a different terminology for each of these platforms, but ultimately these are automation workflows that get your task, get your things done. So once you come inside Make here, there's something called scenario space, and over here you can create folders by your person name or by different kind of let's say departments, task and everything. And here you have a button called create a new scenario. So if you click on this to create your first automation scenario, you will find this kind of complete blank canvas with this just small ball over here, this small circle over here, right? Otherwise, there is nothing on the whole screen. It is just give your scenario name, and then you have a couple of things: run, test, run, turn it, schedule it, save it, couple of other tools, and so on. So that's why most of the people love make.com, this kind of a neat clean interface where you can play around, you can build any kind of automations, and you can like fully customize it to any extent. So here, as soon as you click on this first circle, it gives you a list of many popular apps. You can see here Google Sheet, OpenAI, it got Microsoft Outlook, Razorpay, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, many applications. And they onboarded more than 2,000 such application as so you can just name it and you'll find it. Let's say if I go here for Google, see how many Google applications there: Google Plus, Google Sheet, Google Drive, Doc, Map, Keep. More than 30 different applications just from the Google Suite are available over here. Right. So you would have not even heard some of the names as well. Google Groups is there, Google Slides, Google Shopping is there, Google My Business, Cloud Pub Sub, and so many more. Right. So just name it, you'll find it. If I go for Microsoft, for example, see here we have Microsoft Teams, Outlook, we have To Do, Power BI, Intra, Excel is there, Word is there, Calendar is there. So many things can be performed, can be automated with Microsoft as well. If we just try to search, let's say CRM, for example, if I click here CRM, you'll find one CRM, Pipedrive, HubSpot, Aspo. More than 100 different CRMs are already listed over here. What do you have to do? Simply choose the right one. Let's say if I go for Pipedrive as CRM, see here, it has multiple triggers and multiple actions pre-built with the API. So you don't have to do any heavy lifting. You don't have to do learn about any coding as such. Make team did everything for you. And that is for same for all of the platforms. So they have done all of these things for you, all the heavy lifting. You just have to go here, choose the right trigger, choose the right action, and your work will be done in minutes, right? Without knowing anything about the coding. So that's how, let's say if you want to create a deal inside CRM, update deal, create deal, delete them, list everything, search couple of things. Maybe you can work with, let's say, contacts, products, organization, all of these things are here, right? So just choose the right module and build your automation scenario right here itself. So this is how you can perform or how you can start your automation building. Now, shall we start building the practical automation that I promised you, or are we missing something? Shall we do something before that? What do you guys think? Okay, most of people say, okay, let's start. Some of you people remember what I told you. Process is very important. We should think about our process. Otherwise, we'll lost somewhere in the whole automation process. This session may become 5 hours, 6 hour session. We'll be keep on doing brainstorming while we are building the automation. And believe me, both things are a dangerous combination. You should not do both the things together. You should think one time and execute then later on. So let's get into this process building first. What I did is instead of building a Miro chart, I created a this kind of a canvas on Canva. And here I defined what we are trying to achieve from this automation. So here the automation title is we are going to build automation, which is going to create content for social media and will also help us in the automated posting. Now, how this whole thing starts. So we are going to use three steps or three combination. We have an idea. We want to give that idea to GPT or some sort of AI, not necessarily GPT as such, any AI to generate content and image and finally publish that content outside for on all the different social media platforms. Primarily, we took three platforms over here: Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Right. So this set up the basic context what we are going to talk about. The second part is we should define the tech stack. Now, why it is important? I told you, list down all the softwares, check if they have APIs, and also check if they are paid or free. So in this case, to park our ideas or to, let's say, store this entire content somewhere to create logs and all, right? We wanted to use some sort of note taker, some sort of a database, basic tables, right, where we can keep this whole post data. What I found is, from my research, from my experience, Google Sheet is a really good solution. It's first of all free of cost, it has APIs, and it is way more like convenient to build any kind of a structure, any kind of database, any kind of table within there, right? So first, we chose Google Sheet to structure our content idea, track them, and also initiate some sort of trigger to publish the content. Second is the AI engine, which is going to help us to generate image and the content as well. So here we are going to use OpenAI, which provide us both the capabilities, content generation as well as image generation, a media generation, right? In case you want to go for videos, there are so many other APIs available, so many other AIs are available, which can even generate videos for you. Then third thing we have is the integration platform. We are choosing make.com because of the pricing, because of easy to use and this kind of a interface or capabilities. And finally, we chose three social media platform: Facebook, Insta, LinkedIn. All of them have API, but there is a constraint. Facebook and Instagram provide API only for business account, only for the pages, not for the personal profile. So we are okay. We are going to run this post for a particular business only, right? Now, after that, we have couple of rules or controls defined over here because system can't work in isolation. It can't work itself. We have to give it certain conditions. So what I noted down over here is, first of all, my requirement is there are three platforms: Facebook, Insta, LinkedIn. They are all different by in their inherent nature. So LinkedIn is a professional platform where you see formal language, formal tone, that kind of post goes out, right? Instagram is completely opposite. It is a casual platform. People can just send out any kind of content, short content, emojis, funny things, and all. And Facebook is settled down somewhere in the middle of these two. So we wanted a unique piece of content for each of these three platforms. Now, how about the image? So are we going to create three different images or one single image? In that case, I decided to go with a one single image. You can go for three images as well as per your requirement. Then how many times you want to create a post? This is super important because this whole system is going to work based on our ideas, like what idea I'm going to put there. And then based on that, it's going to create content. But the problem with idea or the good thing with ideas is I can get 10 ideas in next 10 minutes, or I may not get any idea next 10 days as well, right? So should I process all of those 10 ideas in next 10 minutes itself, or should I wait, store that content, and process one idea, one post one day? So I decided go one post per day, right, for all of these three platforms, not everything all together. And finally, I also wanted to have a human review in the process. So before posting content, the system should show me like what content is generated, what kind of image is there. In case if I wanted to regenerate, I can obviously go ahead and regenerate it, or I can simply say, okay, go ahead and post it. How many of you people think, how many of you people think human review is required while AI is working these days with content generation? Most of you, right? I can see many, me 100%. Yes, human review is required. Yes, absolutely. AI is a great superpower, no doubt about it. But it is getting matured day by day. So we can't rely 100% on AI at this point, right? So that's why we said, okay, let's do a human review, because this post is related with our brand voice, with our personality, our image, and we can't just put it on stake. So that's why we wanted to keep human review in the loop. Now, these are our fundamental rules, and that's how we are going to build the whole system, logics and conditions as well. Once we are clear on this whole thing, see, it's not necessary to be always a flow chart. It can be this kind of a basic understanding as well. Depend upon your entire understanding. And you can also create this entire thing, not this kind of a fancy presentation mode. Just take a pen, paper, note it down, clear your thoughts, and then touch automation. How we do in like exams as well, right? We learn something first, create our notes, and then we prepare answers. So same way, we have to go with the process as well. Okay. So the first thing is we should build our base, which is our Google Sheet. We are starting from this particular point. So Google Sheet is to store content ideas and the finished content. So let's go to Google Sheet. Let's start from a scratch, a basic Google Sheet over here. I already have something called Social Master, and this sheet name is called Master Social Media Automation Content and Posting version 1. Right? This is my Google Sheet spreadsheet name. Now, within this, I'm going to create a sheet for today's day. I'll say social tracker 21st June. So this is how I created a Google Sheet over here at the bottom. Now I need a column, some sort of a space to park my ideas. So here I'll say my ideas, the first column. Let me zoom in a little bit. So the first column is going to contain or carry my post ideas like this. Now, once I have idea, obviously I want to create content. Next to this idea, I'll have three type of content: Facebook, Insta, LinkedIn. So here I can say Facebook post content. Obviously, they should correlate. So whenever the content is generated, it should generate next to the same idea itself. Then I have Instagram post content, and then I'm going to have LinkedIn post content, right? Something like this. So now I created three different columns over here, which are going to carry all of my posting content over here. Then we had a requirement to create image as well. So here, obviously, we can't upload image inside Google Sheet, but obviously we can give image link or the URL over here. So I'll say image link goes here in this column. So until this is whole content part comes out. Now, if you remember, I told you we are going to control this posting part. We are also going to have some sort of human review and human interaction with the system. So here I'm going to put a column called control column, or you can give it any name, that's fine, where I say this is going to have four different status, two command, two status. One is when I say generate content, it should trigger the system to generate content. This is my first command. Then once the content system should tell me this content is ready for review. So I can simply say ready for review to make it small, right? Then when I say create a post, so I'll say create post. System should go ahead and create the post on all the social media. And once the posting is done, it should tell me back that posting done. So I'll say posting done, something like this. And what I can do is I can simply create a drop down by right click, select all, right click this, create post can be yellow, generate content can be, okay, let's go with this. Generate content, I can give it a good yellow color. Then I have something called ready for review. That will be a blue, create post, a purple, and posting done is green. This is how we can have all of these different status coming out like this, right? So now for any idea, I don't have to retype them. It's pretty straightforward. I just remove and select it from the drop down. Wherever I want to create content, simply select it from drop down. A system will understand, okay, this particular line, this particular idea requires to create content. Let's do some beautification here quickly. Format very important. Posting date. So when this posting was done, so we can have a track of this, right? Sorry, not posting done. It's going to have posting date. This is the base ready. I would like to have your quick support. Just listen the condition first very, very carefully. I want you guys to share me five content ideas, one each of you, but that should be at least two sentences, minimum 10 words. So we can give a good prompt, a good requirement to the AI. Take your time. Don't write one single word, AI automation, these things. Just type in at least 10 word, minimum 10. This can be something good. Okay, not like this, guys. You are putting pickup services, vacancy announcement, new startups, not two words. I said take your time, give at least 10 word, minimum 10 words, not anything below that. Okay, happy holidays, create a post. Okay. Future of India with current Iran and Israel war. Okay. AI may not be able to sense that. Even Trump can't sense himself. Like, what's going to be the impact? Okay. Importance of photography in AI world. Okay, we can take this one. That's a bad thing. Actually, what I can't copy things from here, from this Zoom chat. Let me try to grab some screenshot and okay, let's try. I'll grab a few idea. What I'll do is a good thing with MacBook is you can take or you can copy things from a screenshot as well. Okay, this looks good. Okay, got. So maybe I'm taking this idea as inside of human language, importance of photography in AI world. This is good. Then I have daily posting on Amazon PPC, buy stuff online automatically, unable to see comment. Why should start a YouTube channel in 2025? Okay, looks good. Maybe I'll take a couple of more ideas from here. Okay, prompt engineering, post content for affiliate marketing, reel explaining. Maybe any of you would have a good brand or something. If you want to create a brand post, I'm more than happy to do that. Delicious food you should eat without compromising your diet. Okay, nice. Let's try. And obviously, once you learn this automation, you can try anything you want. It is make a viral accounts payable automation solution. What would leaders can do to reduce overall temperature? I'm not sure I will be able to do some good post on this. Let me take one last. It's yoga day. Okay, it's yoga day. That's nice. Maybe I'm taking only these many. That's great. And we'll start from it's yoga day today. Nice. So with this initial part, we have our Google Sheet set up and we are going to create at least these five posts, right? We are clear on the expectation. Now it is time we should touch make.com. We should get into the automation because we have basic things settled down. Obviously, before we go there, we should ensure that we have OpenAI. I'm going to tell you like how to connect OpenAI APIs, how the pricing works and all. We already have make.com. We already have, assuming LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, the business pages on Facebook, Insta, and profile on LinkedIn, right? Once you have all of these things, you can get started. Now, once we are here inside the make.com, let's set up our first step. So here we go. The first step is we should grab our content idea from Google Sheet inside make.com. So see here, you upfront see there is an app called Google Sheets. If you click on this, there are multiple actions available or multiple triggers available. One says watch new raw. So trigger when a new raw is added inside Google Sheet. But we don't want that, right? We don't want to trigger automation as soon as we add any new line inside Google Sheet. Otherwise, it's going to process content without taking my approval or without taking the human review. It can straightforward do the posting. So apart from that, we have add raw, update raw, we have bulk add update, search is there, we have clear, delete. See, many actions are here which you can't even see on Google Sheet itself. Many of them are available over here. In case if you wanted to do any custom API calls which are not listed, there is a API call module available at the bottom which says make an API call. So you can even work directly with the Google Sheet APIs. And this applies everywhere. Whatever module you use, they generally have a custom API module at the bottom of each of these apps. Now, for us in this particular use case, we have not the watch new raw, we have another good trigger called search raw. And this says return result matching the given criteria. Now, we have a condition over here. So let's say when we say it's yoga day, let's say this particular post, I should process this only when my status in column F is equal to generate content, right? Otherwise, I'm not going to run any of other ones at all. So my condition is there is a condition, and that's how I wanted to get data. So search raw is the right module in this case. And whenever you're working with any of the automation scenarios, you can choose your different modules as per your requirement, but just try to make sense of that. Okay, does it fulfill your requirement? Maybe just do a couple of test runs and then figure out what data you're getting and what are the things you can configure over there. Now, in our case, search raw is the best. So whenever automation is going to work, it will search wherever it required to create post, wherever it required to create content, it should pick up only those lines. Now here, let's click on search raw. Now, you would be wondering how Make knows which Google Sheet we are talking, how Make knows what to work, where to pick content from, because Make is a different platform, Google is a different platform altogether. So in this case, we have to connect our Google Sheet inside make.com. And that's the first step. So I already connected. That's why I have a connection over here. But in your case, you will see a button called create connection with Google Sheet. So if that's there, click on that, or let's click on add over here, right? And here I can give it a name connection. I'll say 21st June. It's coming from admin gross tax, which is our company email. Then here I'll say sign in with Google. It's pretty straightforward. Let's click on sign in. You come to this point. Here we have all the email listed. I'll go with admin gross tax. Then simply continue. And believe me, you will wonder how easy it is. Just give one more access to this Make, and that's it. Your Google Sheet is now connected directly with make.com. Once you click on a spreadsheet, see here, we can choose spreadsheet from a wide range of all sheets available on our Google Drive. See here, many of all the Google Sheets which are exist in our Google account are listed over here. And you can even search by name. So I'll say social media automation masterclass. See here, this sheet came out, master social media automation. I can choose this one. Then here it's going to ask me within this particular spreadsheet which sheet you're talking about. So as soon as I choose this one, see here it says social tracker 21st June. I can simply select this particular sheet where my content exists. And then here it says, does this table has headers? I'll say yes. Column range A to CZ, absolutely fine. And then here I can put any condition, any filters. So let's skip this part for now. Let's see what happens when we don't put any filters. I click save. And if I run this once from here, see what happens. All of these ideas, whatever thing I have put in on my Google Sheet, see column A has its yoga day. Raw number is 2, spreadsheet ID, sheet name, total output are 5. You can see here, I got total 5 inputs over here, right? Count is this. So I got all of the information. Second is an insight how languages used to make life efficient since the beginning of time and so on. Then here it is importance of photography in the AI world. Why you should start YouTube channel in 2025. So all of these ideas which are parked inside my Google Sheet now getting inside make.com, and I can easily connect it with any other application to make my automation workflow built. Right. So this is first step. Now, as I said, I don't want to process all of them, right? I don't want to process all 5. I want to put a control. When I say generate content for this particular post, it should be only this idea, not everything else. So I have to put a filter condition to restrict which content should come inside make. And here we have filter. So if I click on this, see here, I got all of these columns listed, and it says control column F, right, is equal to, and here I can say generate content. If column F is equal to generate content, only those lines should come inside make. So let's click save. Let's run it one more time and see here what happened. This time only one single output came like this. It's yoga day. That's it. Nothing else, right? So that's how we can control what we wanted to push into make or into automation workflow. and it applies everywhere, anywhere. So whenever you want to control any data, any sort of things, put apply filters, conditions, logics, and that's how data will be controlled. So this is the first part where we are getting all the content inside Make, all the ideas. Now, can you guys quickly tell me what is the next step? What do you think? What is the next step? Make is free. Yes, it's free, Harshita. I already shared a link, so you guys can grab it. People says router. No, there is no logic of router. We should add ChatGPT to generate content around this particular idea. Obviously, the prompt as well. And that's something I forgot actually. I didn't show you prompt altogether. But yeah, let's go with ChatGPT first. I'll also show you the prompt part. So see here, as soon as we hover on this particular module, there is a small circle next to it. It says add another module. I can type in anything. I'll say OpenAI, for example. See, as soon as I type in ChatGPT or OpenAI, the OpenAI inbuilt API module appears at the top. And if I click on this, see what happens? It has many different other configuration, not just ChatGPT. It has message and assistant, which is equivalent to GPT, sorry, custom GPTs, right? Then it has create a completion. That completion can be done with the prompts. Then it has something called transform data to structured content, right? Analyze image, generate image, edit image, like translation, transcription, moderation, then even audio can be generated, vector files can be worked around, and many, many more things. It is not just limited to ChatGPT, it got many more things over there. Now, what we are concerned about is something called create a completion. We are going to give it a prompt, our idea, and this should get us a full length content out. So I'll say create a completion prompt. Now, here again, Make doesn't know which content you're talking about or which GPT you're talking about. So here we'll have to add GPT connection. We'll have to give it our GPT API key, and then Make is going to work with that. So simply click on add over here, and then here it is asking connection name and the API key. Now, where this API key is going to come from? Any guess? Anyone who know already like what is this API key, or anyone of you used it? Okay, no, mostly that's fine. See, most of the time, you people go or we all go here on this kind of interface where we say it's ChatGPT, type in something, put your ideas, and then things can work out on the same interface. But if you remember, I told you the software companies charge you for their API usage. Imagine if you're sitting on this interface and you make 100 requests to ChatGPT. It may take a couple of hours to interact with GPT in all those time. And that's why GPT charge you, let's say $20, $30, whatever plan you have, accordingly, $25 for our case, let's say business plan, and they charge you money for this access of this GPT. But this GPT doesn't work with the API. If you make it work with APIs, it's going to blow that, right? It's going to maybe send 1,000 requests in 10 minutes and GPT servers will be completely buried. So what GPT says, if you wanted to use API, you'll have to pay for us, pay for those APIs, right? So that's where they have a complete separate interface, which called openai.com. And within OpenAI, see here, there is something called written called API platform on the left hand side. So if I click on this, says view API. Let's even take a look of API pricing, and then we can log in to API platform. Right. So it is no longer GPT, it's the ChatGPT or OpenAI APIs which are going to work on your automations. Now, as soon as you get in here, this whole alien language comes in. It's an OpenAI developer platform. Then you have JavaScript, Python, and so on. And this is how you can make it work. But we are no longer bothered about this coding. We have power of no code, low code automation tools. So simply go to settings. Then here we have on the left hand side, we have something called API key, and then simply create new secret key. So if you click on this, I can give it a name. Let's say 21st June class demo key. I can choose a project, which can be a default project. Simply click on create secret key. That's it. And then API key will appear over here. So I can copy this, take it to make.com. Let's take it here, paste this API key and click save. That's it. My connection is done. But we forgot, right? We have to pay for these APIs. They cost you extra. GPT is going to charge you money for that. So how they charge? Once you build this API key, this integration, just below that, there is something called billing. Click on the billing part and see here, you have to add some prepaid balance to ChatGPT to OpenAI to make it work. So it says when your credit reaches to zero, the API will stop working. So OpenAI charges you for API usage and you have to load some money. So you can simply click on add credit balance and you can add $5, $10, and this can last for months. So now I'm going to tell you, if you load this prepaid balance, how do you charge actually? You may have a question like, okay, if I'm making a post, how much it cost, right? It's not going to take $1, $2 just for a post itself. So here, even OpenAI gave API-based pricing. If you scroll down a little bit, see here what it says. There are different models which can work around. So it says GPT 4.1, 4.1 mini, 4.1 nano, and so on. And there are specific things what they are good at. So these models can be like done different task, complex task, easy task, and so on. Then below this, we have couple of pricing things over here. So if you know AI by default, most of these LLMs, most of these AI tools, they work based on the tokens consumed or tokens spent on their platform. So what they say, if you buy or if you consume a million token on GPT 4.1 is going to cost you $2. If on mini plan or let's say mini model is going to take $0.4, which is about 35 rupees for a million token. And for nano model is going to take only 10 cents. 10 cents is like hardly 8, 9 rupees in India rupees, right? And it can give you a million tokens. Now, that means if you create a post and if that post takes you maybe 1,000 token, you should tell me, maybe do some math, some calculators or something. If this model cost you 10 cent or maybe 9 rupees for a million token, and if one post creation takes 1,000 token, then what is the cost for each post you create? Just calculate later on, but that's a math. It's barely anything, believe me, right? So this is how we can go for a right model, and then accordingly you can be charged based on your prepaid balance. Perfect, people already started getting in. So yeah, couple of right answers. This will cost you half paisa. So within 1 rupees you can create 200 posts. That's true, right? Half paisa for each post content. It's that cheap if you go with 4.1 nano model. So let's go here, right? Now let's get back into our automation. Here we have to choose, we connected our chat GPT, we loaded our balance, $5 something. And then here on the model, simply go. It will find many, many different models. 4.0 are there, O3, O1, 4.1, different 4.5, 4.0, and so on. Even 3.5 still exists within ChatGPT's APIs, right? So simply go here. We can go and choose something called 4.1 nano. This is the right model which we're going to pick. Now, once that is done, GPT is going to ask, okay, what do you want us to do or GPT to do for you? And obviously, it has a role play kind of thing. So you can define GPTs. These are important when you work with any complex things. But most of the time, these roles doesn't make much difference. So simply go with assistant. Now within this, it's asking like, give us your content. What do you want to do with this GPT? So here we are going to give it a prompt and our post idea. So let's click on this Google Sheet, Google Doc, sorry. Here I wrote down entire prompt like this. So this prompt says you are a professional social media content creator who specializes in all these post optimization. For a couple of more instructions for Facebook, create a conversational, engaging, encouraging discussion post, 1 to 2 emojis, max 150 words. Instagram, max 100 words. And for LinkedIn, it's going to be, let's say, 200 words, 0 to 1 emojis, and keep paragraph bullets and so on. Then here we have a JSON structure, how this content should come out, couple of guidelines, and finally, the input which you wanted to map. So I can simply grab this entire prompt right from here to here. I can take it to this window, paste it like this, and see here what happens. So here our entire prompt comes up like this, right? This is first step. Then this is just a prompt. It does idea over there. So here we sit, here's the content idea. And just see this magic, very basic thing. Like you will see how easy it is to build and interconnect things. When I clicked on this module, it opened me this entire configuration. Choose the model, choose the right assistant and so on, put the prompt. As soon as I click on inside of this box, there is going to be another pop-up open, right? So click on this. See, the second pop-up came in. And what this pop-up says, it gives you all the values which are coming out from previous module. So if I have to connect the content idea from the first one, the Google Sheet, to ChatGPT, I can simply drag and drop column A. That's it. That's literally it. You have to like, you don't have to configure anything extra when you have to connect these two modules. The Google Sheet idea should get into ChatGPT, drag and drop, and your work will be done. Then couple of obviously more configuration over here. Max completion token, it says 2000. I'll just remove it. Then go for show advanced setting. Output should come out into JSON format. JSON should be parsed, and more advanced settings over here. But it doesn't make difference, so we simply go with the default one. So this is how we are going to like integrate things. Very, very easy, very straightforward. Put anything you want, interconnect values from modules, and your automation will start building. So here I'll say this is the module for content generator. Maybe I'll say, give it a name. After that, we are going to create image using OpenAI again. OpenAI got a good module called DALI 3. So DALI is a model for image generation. So let's go here. Let's explore. See here, we have something called generate an image. Let's click on this. Our connection is already built from the previous one. So we'll simply go with this connection. I'll say model. We'll go with latest model called DALI 3. Then here we have to define the prompt. So here is the prompt over here. The second tab of this, which has generate image prompt. And here are the instructions given. Generate image in 1080 pixels, style requirement, technical specification, additional elements, important notes, main ID to generate image, and so on. Simply copy this prompt from here, take it to prompt, and at the last, we simply map content idea from our Google Sheet. That's it, right? And even we can configure a couple of more things. So in case if you wanted to have image in other dimension, so you can have portrait, you can have landscape, you can have a square image, all fine. You can also define the quality of the image. I can go HD or standard. I'll go HD. The style can be a kind of a sketch type of thing or natural image. So we can go with vivid or natural. And then what is the response format we wanted in the URL? So we can update this into Google Sheets, right? That's it. I can rename this simply. I'll say image generator. Perfect. Now, what next? What we should do after this? Guys, quickly insert response to Google Sheet and update status. Amazing. Ronak, you got really good attention. Thank you. Most of you. Great. Perfect. Let's click on next. We'll go with Google Sheets again. And let's click on update a raw. Why update a raw? Because we want to update outputs next to the same line. On this yoga day, it should come up like this on the same line, right? So if I go back here, I'll go for update a raw. And here I have to choose what is my spread, where is my spreadsheet hosted. So last time we simply chose it, if you remember, from, oh, not cross-school content. Let me see. Okay, growth school, where is this sheet gone? Or maybe what I can do is, it's pretty easy. I can directly paste this whole spreadsheet ID right from the path itself. I don't have to do all that heavy lifting at all. Simply go here, pasted the sheet ID. I can go for sheet selection, which is going to be the social tracker 21st June. Raw number obviously is going to come from the first module output. Here it says me raw number. I can update the same raw number which I got from the search raw. Then can you guys quickly tell me, should I map anything in column A? Ideas. Anything on column A? Anyone who says yes? No. All of you said no. Great, great. So nothing in column A because we already have our entire idea column filled by default. Second is we have to get results out in Facebook post content. But first, let's do one thing. Let's disconnect from here. Let's try to run this module and let's see what happens. We have to generate content just to map things within the enter module. See here, the result came out. Happy Yoga Day, all of these things. Now, if I reconnect them here to here, let's go back. And if I click on these Facebook content, see here, Facebook content came out from this particular GPT content generator. Instagram content is also over here. Then we have LinkedIn post content, pretty straightforward. And then over here, this is our image generator. Click on data, URL can be mapped like this. That's it. Now, should I close this module or am I missing something? Guys, quickly, am I missing something? Okay, Sumit. Yes, control column, update status, very important. And what if we don't do this? It'll get into a loop. So it'll always creating the same post again and again and again. So we don't want to regenerate things. So what I'll say here is, I'll say ready for review. And this I can type manually as well, because it is going to be the same status whenever we generate content, we'll always say ready for review, right? So that's how we can simply click save. Now let's give it a try. Let's run it from start until end and let's see what happens. So within our Google Sheet, we have this first line called yoga day. And here we have generate content as the status. If I go ahead and click run once, let's see what happens. Okay, perfect. See here, the first only one thing came out. It's yoga day. This generated content, Facebook is here, Instagram is here, LinkedIn is here, all the structured content like this. And one more thing I will quickly show you how many tokens it consumed. See here, it says usage. Let me zoom in a little bit. It consumed total 556 tokens. I told you it takes half paisa to generate this entire content for you, right? Image generated, the everything gone back into sheets. See here, let's make it a little readable. Perfect, perfect. Something like this. Let's spread out. Perfect. See here. So yoga day, Facebook post content came out with couple of hashtags, good emojis. Even the yoga emoji is also there. Instagram content, LinkedIn content, and the image. Image is generally the most important part. Let's see how it look like. Okay, not that great, not that bad. Looks good, decent. If we wanted to rerun this, absolutely okay. We simply go here, generate content again, and simply go here, run once again. It's going to rerun this and will give us a good image. Obviously, we can add more things like use vibrant colors and maybe vibrant image colors and attractive pose, something like this, right? If we regenerate this, absolutely okay. It's going to do that next thing for us. If I regenerate, let's try. This time it should generate some good output. Okay, so in total, we got our content back. You may have a question. What if I don't like this image? Can I add my own images? Absolutely, yes. You can upload any of your personalized graphic design images from your graphic designer somewhere, put them into Google Drive, and put the Google Drive link over here. So you don't have to depend upon GPT or AI generated images as such. It can be anything. See here, the content got updated. The image also got updated. Let's go back and see what happened this time. Brilliant. This looks really good. Perfect square, yoga day, and this entire thing pretty good, right? So now we are good to create. We got the content out. Now, okay, you wanted to see how many tokens consumed again. It's maybe again 600 only, 608 tokens this time, right? This much it consumed. For image, I think it consumed 1000 or 2000 tokens in total. So that's it. Nothing very expensive. This is the first part where we created content. Now, on the second level, remember I told you we should also automate posting of this thing on various social media platforms. So we can do two things. One is we can go back to make.com scenario creation, start a basic scenario from scratch like this, where we say if the status is equal to create post, then grab those posts and do all the social media things. Or we can use some advanced technique within Make. So Make got us that, like, if you have a common source of your data and if you want to perform two different things or two different processes, you can combine them together into one single scenario using routers, using some little advanced technology, right? So okay, let me even give you this prompt file as well. Some people are asking, can you give us prompt? Guys, here is the prompt file. You can use it whenever you want. Okay, so what Make does is, Make says, if your content source is single, it is a one single source, in that case, you can apply a router, and with the same thing, you can go and perform two different tasks in the same automation scenario. You don't have to create two scenarios. So what I can do is, within this, I can right click over here, and just after the output, I'll say, I wanted to add a router. Now, what this router will do, it will help us to have multiple processes coming out from here, multiple routes coming out from here, right? So in this case, let's say if I go and just change a basic condition within my Google Sheet search result, where we started, if the control column F status is equal to generate content. Now I can add an or condition where I say or f column status is equal to create post. Then in this case, it will get me both of kind of things, both the type of line items. Wherever I have status generate content, wherever I have status as create post, both of these things will come out. So let's click on OK. And now, what if I simply say this post is ready for review? I'll say, okay, create post. My human reviews, my approval is done, right? And then here I say generate content on the second line, right? If I go ahead and just run this module with right click, see here what happens. It is going to give me both type of content. See, the first content which has create post as a status, and the second content which has generate content as a status, right, on the column F. So now both type of things are coming out. But since we have this router, we can define, let's say, the first route, wherever the generate content is there, go on this route. Or I can add a second route like this, where I say I wanted to connect Facebook to make a post. I'll simply type in Facebook over here. We'll go with Facebook pages. And here we can choose what we wanted to do within the Facebook page. So it has like list post, get post, and create post with photos, carousel post, video post, and so on, right? So we can even do any kind of posting with this modules. Now, what we are concerned is we simply wanted to create a normal post. So let's click on create a post. Here, obviously, we'll have to add connection. So click on add connection. Again, very straightforward, very basic. I'll say 21st June, Manish, my profile connection, click save. And this pop-up is going to open where we can simply allow creating this connection. I'll say continue. And with just one or two clicks, Facebook will be connected right inside make.com. We don't have to do any heavy lifting. It's all pretty straightforward, right? So now it is authorizing my connection, my account, and this is done. See here, 21st June connection. Now if you click on pages, I have 3 pages in my control on this profile. It says Grow Stacks Mumbai. I'll go with this. Then I just have to add message. So I can simple, straightforward, link Facebook message from column B, and the link of this particular image is from column E. That's it. That is what I have to do to connect my Google Sheet inside Facebook page. Pretty straightforward. Click save, all done. Then I can go for Instagram. Instagram for business. Obviously, it is not available for personal profiles. Here again, we have create a photo post, create a reel post, carousel post, and so on. I'll go for create a photo post. Click on this. The same connection is taken by Instagram because both of them are coming from the same Meta as a software company. And here it's by default selecting Facebook page. So I'll say Grow Stacks is the page. I'll go with photo URL from column E. Put down here caption is from column C, and that's it. This is how my Instagram post can also be connected. And finally, I wanted to connect LinkedIn as well. I'll say LinkedIn. See here, LinkedIn module came. Now there is a good news for you on LinkedIn. LinkedIn provide you APIs for both user as well as organizations. So even you can create your user profile post directly from automation. It can be a text post, it can be image post, it can be video post, and so on. Same way for organization, you can do multiple things. Even you can comment someone's post, you can get comment, you can do some statistics and many things over here. But let's say we'll go for create a user image post. I'll click on this. See here, now it is asking us file name and data. Instead of a URL of the file, it is asking us to upload actual file. Now in this case, Make got another good module. If I right click here, add a module, which is called HTTP. And if you recollect, I told you platform should be scalable. It should be able to work in these kind of situation where this module doesn't accept a file, a link. In this case, we should be able to download a file inside make.com, and then we can add that file into LinkedIn. So what we do here, we set HTTP, and HTTP got another module called get a file, which says download a file from the given URL. So I click on this, simply map the URL of our image, which is added over here. Done. LinkedIn post, I'll simply cancel, reopen, and see what happens. Now it is getting file from this HTTP. What I have to do, simple, very basic, add LinkedIn content to this particular uh, content box, right? It says LinkedIn post content, column D. We can also configure visibility. So our post is visible to public, only connections, only people who are logged in, then main feed or none feed, or let's say, do we want to reshare? Allow, yes or no. So we said, okay, that's fine, allow reshare. So this is how we have built up both the stream where generate content and the publish content works. But there is no condition. See, both of these things are coming out like this, bundle one, bundle two. Now they can go both on the both routes. So something which has to create a post can also go on this route. Something which has generate content will also go on this route. So how we can control that? Each of these strings which connect these modules, we can simply click on them and apply any kind of filter, whatever we want. So since we are getting both type of data from the first module, I'll say go here, and on column F, we'll say apply a filter here if column F is equal to generate content, then only it is going to follow this particular route, this route, right? If it is create post, then it is going to follow this particular route. So I'll simply say column F status is equal to create post, then go on this route. So now these things will not mess up. Generate content will follow here, create post will follow here on this right? Now, are we good to run the scenario or are we missing something? Anyone who has attention will give the right answer. Yes, Sneha, great. Sumit, Vineet, most of you people have attention. Great. So we actually wanted to update the status. Once the posting is done, we are missing status over here. And I'm glad like many of you guys are very much attentive. So as soon as I ask, the answers are coming in and all of them are right answers. So great. Happy to have this kind of audience. So guys, see, again, we are going to add Google Sheets. We're going to update a raw. Over here, we'll have to go for, we can either give it a direct link of that particular Google Sheet, or we can also like search it from here and map it over here. So here I'd say, let's go for a direct Google Sheet spreadsheet link. I'll take link from here. Spreadsheet ID is like this. Simply go update spreadsheet ID, which is going to give us the sheet access. Here in this case, we have sheet name as social tracker 21st June. Raw number we are going to take from first module. Then we don't have to update anything from column A to E. We are just going to change status in column F where we say posting done. That's it. Even posting date and time, obviously we have another operator over here which called now, and I can format this date. So I'll say format date now, and then here I can say it should be d dash mm dash y even hours, minutes, and AM/PM. This is how you can even apply formulas inside make.com. So see how easy it is to build up this kind of automation workflow end to end, right from start until end. Now we are going to run two things over here. We have two actions, if you remember. We have create post and we have generate content. If we run it together, let's see what happens. Let's click run once. Now the first status was create post. So obviously now it is moving to create a post on our yoga day one, right? So here's the Facebook post is done. Instagram now it is doing. Okay, it's taking time for Instagram. Let's see. Perfect. Instagram is also done. Post ID is here. LinkedIn is also done. And the status should have updated back saying posting done at this particular date and time, 5:32 p.m., 21st of June. The second route, the second part is also working. It generated content over here. See, the content is generated for the second post, which is, have you ever thought how languages shape daily lives and so on? And then Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn post, image is getting generated, and now it is getting updated back into the same Google Sheet. Review, ready for review. Now let's check our first post. What happened with that? Okay, we are here. And let's see. Perfect. See, just now the yoga post came out. Today, mark yoga day, a perfect moment, opportunity for so and so, a good looking post. And here we are. Second is, let's go for Facebook, refresh. Let's see what happens. This would have come 1 minute ago or something. Okay, it's taking time. It's taking time. Let's refresh. Perfect. See here, 1 minute ago, happy yoga day, couple of hashtags, and this is how the whole post comes out. And finally, on Instagram, let's refresh and let's see what happens. See, this is how, oh, one person liked as well. Who's that guy? Okay, Jaffina, Matthew. Amazing, you're so fast. So, yes, here we are, and that's how our first thing is done. Let's see what happened. See, posting is done at this point. Let's see what happened with this particular image and the post. Oh, it's weird actually. It's all about languages. I'm not sure how it created an insight, how language has been used to make life easy, efficient. Let's try this one as well. Maybe one more try and then we are good to go. Okay, let's see. Let's run this. Now, some of you would have a question, any proactive people would have a question in mind that Manish, you created this Google Sheet, you are keep on changing status over here, and then you go back to scenario, you click here, run once, and then automation works. Now, if it is going to be this way, it's not automation. Like if we have to come back again and again, put click, 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 it's not automation. I can do these things myself, go there, right? Let me tell you. So this was just a testing environment. Unless until you are good with any automation scenario, any automation workflow, you should always test it thoroughly with these kind of test run, right? But once you're done with that, I'll tell you how to make it work automatically. So, okay, let's see. By this time, we have this photography thing also came out. Importance of photography in AI world. Let's see what kind of content. And see here, a well-structured LinkedIn post content also came. I'm always keen to see images, but yeah, okay. Couple of AI, many different photography things, a centralized camera, all looks good. If it's not, you can always regenerate. I'll say create post. Let's go ahead and maybe let's try one more time whether it's creating a post or not. Okay, it's moving towards all of these. And now it's your job. Just go ahead and check those pages, which I shown you earlier, and see if the post came out or not. So, okay, let's stop this here. So now we got all the test run perfect, and we can modify the prompt, we can modify any sort of inputs, and we can get any result as per our requirement. But the important part is, do we have to click this run once every time when we get inside automation? The answer is no. Once you build it, you just have to schedule this and forget. Automation is going to work automatically itself. It's no longer require any human intervention except you reviewing this content on your sheets. That's it, right? How to do that? Simply at the bottom here is something called see next to run once. There is something called every 15 minutes. It's a kind of scheduler. If you click on this, there are many different scheduling options available. So you can run this automation at a predefined interval. So let's say at regular interval, every 15 minutes. This is one type of thing. Second is, or maybe you can put it like 1 minute and you can put 1000 minutes. It can be anything, right? Second level is you can run every day. So here you go and you can define, okay, I wanted to post something on 10 a.m. every day. So I can go here, 10 a.m. And remember I told you time zone. So see here it says time zone is Asia, Kolkata. So it's going to run every day, 10 a.m. Asia, Kolkata. Then if you wanted to define specific days of the week, simply go here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 10 a.m. It's going to work. Then you can also define days of the month. So if you wanted to run specific days of month, first day, last day, that can be done. You can even run it on specific days. Let's say if you have a birthday, you have anniversary, you have to do something on a specific day, right? You can choose the particular month, choose the particular date, and that's how it can work. 1st January, 31st December, and so on. And even on top of that, if you put something on regular interval, let's say if you run any automation for any purpose, every 1 hour, right? Let's say I put 60 minutes here, but I want to make it run only during my office hours, not every now and then, right? So then I can say it should not run on midnight. I'll say on advanced scheduling, this should run every 60 minutes, but from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. See here, I can configure things like this 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. I can simply define this. And now these 60 minutes, it will going to start from 9, 10, 11, 12, and so on until 5, and then it's going to stop. As well as I can also define days. So I'm working, let's say Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. This automation should work every hour during this duration. This kind of scheduling can be done, right? So you don't have to touch this automation as soon as you click save. I'll say, okay, activate scenario, and that's it. Right? So this is how easy to build automations like this. And since I was explaining this whole thing, it took me about 1.5 hours or something. But believe me, if you can nail it, if you can practice it, these kind of automation you can build in less than half an hour. That's the power, that's the easiness of these tools, right? So I hope I added some good value, some good knowledge to your entire automation introduction journey. And I wish you saw this far. It is not a difficult task. You can automate most of the things. Just try to like learn more and more good tools and try to automate them as much as you can. Okay, Uttam, over to you.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. That was amazing. Thank you so much for sharing all of that in such a easy language. I mean, when I was starting out, I wish someone had taught me like this in such a easy manner to understand. So thank you so much for doing that. Folks, why don't you tell in the chat how are you feeling? What do you feel about the session? Did you enjoy it? Did you learn something? What's your feedback?
Absolutely.
This is the best part of the session.
Okay. Okay, guys, one more thing. You would wonder, Manish, do you create this kind of automation, or like does real life automation look like this or something more than that? Let me show you. Let me show you a couple of real life examples
Yeah.
which may blow your mind. So currently on make.com, we are managing about 400 different organizations across US, Europe, those kind of countries. And you can see a long list of all of these here. If I click on, let's say, one of them, or maybe I'll try to show you something else as well. And this is just make. There are many other platforms where we work, N10, Zapier, custom coding on Python, JavaScript, and so on. Let me try to show you two good automations over here, which will show you the like how and where we save time, effort, where we add real value with the automations. So first, which I'm going to show you is quite towards the operation side, where a company works in US. They are a company called the Net Return, and they sell their product on Shopify and Amazon. So what they say, whenever we sell anything, we wanted to create an invoice inside QuickBooks. So QuickBooks is an accounting system, how we have Tally in India. Now, what they say, first of all, so this is how the whole automation looks like. It's a giant big automation with multiple type of data handling. And see here, it start everything from Shopify. So we have to get Shopify orders which are paid and fulfilled. Then it runs through, it create customer, it create particular invoice, accounting entry, even it allocate cost. Though, like if there is shipping cost, there is a discount cost, everything is being allocated. And the general entries can also be passed. See here, shipping JV, here is the discount JV are being created, and the whole stock, everything is assessed or is run through this kind of automation workflow, right? So this literally saved them one full-time headcount, one accountant who was working on this whole process. And now that accountant is doing much better job in the data analysis, into financial analysis, and those kind of things. So this is one level or power of the automation, how it works. Second is, let me show you something on another Indian company which works into educational project, educational products actually, and they have to deliver different kind of or like educational combinations, right? So this is giant scenario we have built for them, which handle multiple of their tasks in terms of product delivery. So if they're selling a pen drive based product, a notes, an animated video product, and all, and based on their different configurations, they actually deliver those products using Google Drive. So see here, it starts with Zoho Begin CRM, then it has a couple of Google Sheets for data validation. It has Microsoft Teams. It got Outlook here, Google Drive here, many more things. Even apps like WhatsApp official API, Interact, and Facebook conversion API altogether. So these many things are configured, and this is how this particular automation saved them two full-time headcount. So the first company which generate invoices, they sell about 200 products every day, or they have 200 orders every day, and someone has to book them manually. This company has about 80 to 90 deliveries every day, and this was also doing so many manual stuff. So that's where automation practically applies. And these are just backend workflow. We also create systems, interfaces, and so on, which makes a whole combination, a whole good automated system, which people can use and work around. So yeah, this is how like the practical life automations look, and they can be used.
Amazing. This looks crazy. Someone said this looks like a spider web.
True. True, true, true.
People would be very curious to know how much time would like had you taken to build something like this?
Uh, See, it was an iterative process. So this took approximately 2 weeks time for us with a two-member team because they had to build the whole process first, understand everything, standardize them, and then build logic, data handling, and everything. So about 2 weeks time to save two headcount permanently.
Amazing, amazing. Brilliant. I have few questions. There were too many questions coming on the chat and our team was consciously trying to address them as well. There are few
Absolutely.
questions which I came across. I think will be your perspective will be very helpful for everyone.
Sure.
One is, what do you think is the opportunity when it comes to monetization or being able to, make money or being able to convert this skill into a business? So, like, how much is the opportunity? How much is the demand? And, if you want to share anything around that.
Absolutely. See, automation is I would say, a need of everyone. How people were like demanding calculators or cash counting machines. It's that kind of thing at this point, and it exists already for a couple of years. But these days, with the help of AI tools, many people wanted to explore, venture into automation things. So it is in high demand, and that's how I said like we have most of the client from US, Europe, those countries where people have most good processes built. So in case if you wanted to start a career, this may be a real good time. There is good awareness and good demand exist in market.
Got it. That brings me to the other question, that how much a beginner can charge and how much an expert who has spent good amount of time, who is building complex automations like you are building, how much they can charge from Indian client, from international clients?
See, all depends upon the complexity of the automation or use case you're building. So let's say something like this. We personally, our company charge about 5,000, 7,000 rupees, kind of $100 price for this automation, right, which we build for our clients. Obviously, some configuration here and there. If you're building something crazy like this one, we can easily charge $1,000, $1,500 kind of price, 1 lakh rupees type pricing for these
Oh,
ones.
amazing.
Yep.
That's brilliant. And other question is that how do you keep learning? How do you stay updated with all the AI knowledge? So if you want to share your secret of continuous learning, what would you say?
One line simple, practice makes men perfect. So that's the only thing. When I started my career in automation almost 6 years ago, even we did not had much awareness, learning resources, those things. So we had to learn by practicing various use cases, maybe fun projects here and there, wherever we get opportunity. So I think these days YouTube can be a good source, or like many communities are there. You can join them. You can learn from there. First. Second is whenever you get an opportunity or you have like some spare time or something, you should try to make some sort of automation project. Something basic here and there, absolutely fine. But just try to get hands-on experience on these platforms, because next time when something like this comes up, you should at least have understanding of the process, understanding of tools, how they work. So practice is the key.
Awesome. Thank you so much. One very common question that repeatedly a lot of people were asking, whether they want to do it for their own business or for their clients, is around security and compliances. So you want to share your thoughts around that?
Okay, so guys, yes, many people concerned about the data security. Very, very important aspect. Like, will make is going to take my data, or is it secured? Am I in the right hands or not? Because since these platforms are connected, they have Google Sheet, they have these kind of accesses, your Google Drive, Gmail, and they can have all the permissions to do multiple things. But the one fundamental thing is, they all these platforms are not just working in India. They are working on US, Europe kind of clients, and that's where the compliances are so much stringent as compared to India as well. So if any company do any data mischief over there in US, their entire business can collapse. So that's why most of them follow stringent data compliances like HIPAA, GDPR, and your data is completely secured. So they are not going to misuse or anywhere do anything with this, right? Second part is most of these platform also provide you data security at your hands or in the configuration. See here, if I click on this small setting icon on this, it says data is confidential. I can make it yes or no. So currently by default it says no, because make obviously have to run through this entire data. But if I say yes, it is going to encrypt all the data which run through all of these different applications. Right? And even make can't see, make can't at all. So depend upon your configuration, your data sensitivity, but they are very much secure platform. No issues on that.
Amazing. Someone asked a follow-up question around the charging, that do you charge one time for such setup, or there is a monthly fees from client?
Both. So obviously, one time has to be paid. Like people have to pay for this whole effort which we put at the start. But it generally becomes IT contract generally becomes monthly as well on the retainer basis, on the recurring basis. So obviously, the system has to be maintained. They have to be improved. Maybe some changes here and there. So it requires a regular maintenance, and you can make a consistent income stream.
Got it. Awesome. That sounds good. Thank you so much, Manish, for all the knowledge that you have shared. And just want to tell everyone that if you really enjoyed learning from Manish, please make sure you follow him on LinkedIn. He keeps sharing, what about his journey. So you can continue to stay in touch from him, and you can also drop him a message if you have any questions. Right? Our team had dropped, and Manish has also dropped his link. So make sure you
Absolutely.
connect with him. And yeah, any
Great.
any last words, Manish, you want to say before?
Nothing, Uttam. As I said, just do practice. Initially, it may feel overwhelming, but once you are into this, once you spend good time, effort, then you will easily get it. Just to from my experience, since we are working with 400 different type of clients at this point, we regularly manage them. All 400 have 400 different processes, or maybe 400 different tools they are using. And once we nail the fundamentals, we can work upon any of these automations. And so it's that kind of a capability which you should build. And then once you're there, nothing is difficult, right? So yeah,
Amazing. Amazing.
practice and get exposure.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Manish. It is always a pleasure to have you, and we'll see you again.
Great. Thank you very much. I see almost 3,500 people are there still.
Yeah,
90% people are still interested in automation. That's a quick win of automation and AI.
100%,
Great.
100. All
Okay.
right.
Thank you, Tom.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah,
Good day. Bye.
amazing. Bye-bye. So, by the way, folks, I forgot to tell all the people who really loved learning from Manish, who really enjoyed his teaching, and who really enjoyed automation. And there were people asking, yes, we do teach even more advanced automation things in our other programs, which we spoke about. And Manish also comes and teaches in our advanced programs as well, right? So anyone who is curious, anyone who is more interested to, learn, we definitely teach more advanced things, right? Now, before I move to the last part of today, which is left for 1 hour, do you want a 5 minute break before we start with the next part? Yes, 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 I hear you, and we'll definitely do that. So I'll start a timer, I'll play some music, we'll take a 5 minute break, right? We'll take a 5 minute break. A lot of people are saying 10 minutes. So I will be kind, I will make it 6 minutes, because there are a lot of important announcement, very, very important announcement, which you would not want to miss. And then we are going to cover around, how to make money with AI. Very, very important. So I'll make it 6 minutes of your break, and we'll start. All right. I'll make it 6 minutes, and we have started, right? And then we'll start learning again. All right.